Hi, class. So far, I haven't talked about our two monarchs, Theseus and Oberon, who occupy very different roles in A Midsummer Night's Dream, who are now typically cast as a double act, with the same actor playing both, with the same actress playing both Hippolyta and Titania. That is a tradition that's only 50 years old. A particular British director, Peter Brook, did it at the Royal Shakespeare Company, and it stuck. Everyone does it now. Before 50 years ago, nobody did it, and the doubling was held to be impossible because of the patterns of entrances. Now, basically every time you go to the theater, you will see Theseus and Oberon played by the same guy as kind of two halves of the same psychology. Maybe so, maybe. Uh, the previous 350 years, they're always played by two separate actors. Take that for what it's worth. They represent two very different domains. Theseus is clearly the lord of the daytime, the logical, sensible, common sense daytime world of this play. Oberon is literally called King of the Shadows. He is Lord of the Night, of whatever fanciful, nocturnal logic, erotic, imaginative, dream-like rules for most of this play. And Oberon is actually much more in charge of what really happens here. They are both, in their own ways, patriarchs. Theseus is straight up the avatar of the patriarchy. He's marrying an Amazon woman whom he has captured by force because he hates independent women that much. It's on the nose, and you can read. Don't take it from me. Read his language. I won thy love by doing I wound thee with blows and won thy love by doing the injuries. Well, that is ominous. That's not the way to start a relationship. He is the one who says to Hermia, your father to you should be as a god. The patriarchy is straight up. Your father's a god, the absolute authority. He can have you killed if you don't marry the boy he wants. Marry the boy he can pick your husband or have you executed or throw you in a nunnery. Great, right? This is actually, you will find this in just about every comedy. You will see some very rigid law or rule, so rigid that kind of we couldn't really live inside those rules, those restrictions. Like there's got to be a way around it. In the next 4.5 acts, you're about figuring out a way outside those rules to get some breathing space, to subvert those rules. You could never live under a rule that strict. Your father picks your husband, and if you don't like it, he has you executed. That's very rigid. I'm not belittling the fact that there are societies that do something like that, but I don't find that a humane or livable thing, and neither does this play. That is the opening ante in every act one, scene one is, hey, here's this rule. We're going to do this, or we're going to kill people, and it can't be that rule. It just can't be that. Theseus is the advocate, the avatar of this rigid patriarchy. He has very little imagination. Even though he has a great speech about the imagination, he seems like the least imaginative dude in all 5 acts of this play. Oberon is a strange and perverse power player. He is still patriarchal. He is still about controlling and manipulating his wife, except what he wants is very strange. He's gonna okay, I'm having a fight with my wife. We're strange over this changeling boy that we're fighting over. And I'm going to do this thing where I make her fall in love with a monster and presumably have sex with a monster, and that's going to be using me. Well, that's weird. The more you look at that, the stranger it gets. This could be a motto for the semester. The more you think about that, the stranger it gets. I'd also point out the night world's rules and logic are very different than the day world's rules and logic. Theseus has been backing Demetrius to the hilt. Oberon sees Demetrius mistreating Helena and immediately loathes that guy. To hell with that guy. We're gonna make this right. We're gonna take care of our girl Helena. But also notice why Hermia gets punished. Hermia, like a good girl, insists that Lysander sleep away from her, that there not be any sex in the woods. Sure, we're eloping, but we're not going to have sex during our elopement. We're going to wait till we've had the ceremony. Sleep far apart from me. This is what leads Puck to to misunderstand Lysander's music. Oh, look, he sees the couple sleeping apart. It's like, look at the cold-hearted man who won't let the young lady sleep next to him. This is actually Hermia's decision that leads to the misinterpretation. The logic of the play actually punishes her for her chastity, at least temporarily, not in a permanent way, but that's rigidity that also needs to be, that doesn't fit the mores of the fairy folk. I'm not advocating for the mores of the fairy folk. What Oberon does to his wife is manipulative, cruel, and effed up. But it's worth pointing out the fairies are imagined as an amoral, more chaotic sense of people who have their own set of values, which Hermia, not Helena, is transgressing.